Hey everyone, it is Nightmare, and I have a confession to make. You see, when I was younger, a certain movie used to scare the certain shit out of me. I mean, to the point where I ignored Halloween, pretended it didn't exist, didn't want nothing to do with it. And then I realized what a big fucking baby I am. I am, of course, talking about Nightmare on Elm Street. You know, the 1984 film that scared the shit out of anyone who watched it at an early age, causing them to have nightmares, lose weight, couldn't sleep, all that wonderful shit. And straight from the man Wes Craven, too. You know, the man who brought us such classics as The Hills Have Eyes and Last House on the Left. Now, I was young when I saw this movie. Pretty young. I was about 8. And it wasn't the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie I actually saw 4 beforehand, but it's not about 4, it's the original today, and that's what we are going to be talking about. So, of course, everyone knows where Nightmare on Elm Street came, sprouting out of the head of Wes Craven. Pretty much, I'll give you a little bit of overview if you don't know. The idea for Nightmare actually came from 3 newspaper articles from the Los Angeles Times about young men dying in their sleep. Now, the last case that was reported, the guy pretty much had, everything you saw in the movie. Bottles of sleeping, stay awake pills. He hid his sleeping pills, had a Mr. Coffee maker. So this guy was probably hyped up on, caffeine. Too bad Red Bull or anything else wasn't around, especially Jolt. So, this was food for Wes Craven's thought. And out of this thought process came one of the most terrifying movies ever made. And it still terrifies people to this day. Now, looking back on Nightmare on Elm Street, the first half of the movie is a whodunit situation. Because, and let's face it, the first half of the movie, well, I should say the first quarter of the movie, actually no, first half of the movie is about trying to figure out who killed Tina. Now, of course, we all know that Tina was the first victim in Nightmare on Elm Street. If you guys don't know, you shouldn't be watching this review because, spoilers, she died! So, Tina was killed by this invisible dream stalker that haunted her in her sleep. Had no idea who it was. All she knew is, I have to stay awake. So she invited her friend Nancy and Nancy's boyfriend Glenn, played by Johnny Depp no less. Oh boy, oh boy. Johnny Depp fans are probably like, this is where he got his star? Really? Oh my god. I guess he was better off with Tim Burton after all. Jokes. All joking aside. So, Tina invited these guys over, and coincidentally, Nancy had the same dream. If you look on the face of Glenn, he had the same dream, and even Tina's dick boyfriend Rod had the same dream. Oh, the irony! Are all these people going to die? Most of them. Most of them. So, of course, when Tina is brutally stabbed, murdered, tracked up the walls, blood everywhere, people immediately thought Rod was the killer. Because he was into drugs, had a bad boy look to him, which of course attracted Tina to him. And apparently he was a jungle man. Again, you should really watch the movie instead of watching this review. trust me on this. So, Nancy's father just so happened to be the lieutenant, and her mom just so happened to be the drunk of the town. Alright! That makes for good parenting, right? Kinda, no, yes, no. Anyway, Nancy's father, Lieutenant Thompson, obviously thinks that Rod is the killer. But Nancy knows better. Nancy says that Tina sensed that someone was trying to kill her. And obviously, they did. So throughout the first half of the movie, Nancy is trying to discover who really killed Tina. And this is kind of where the murder mystery, whodunit sort of thing comes into play. Even though it's a slasher movie. Nancy doesn't essentially finds out until after Rod got hanged in an apparent suicide, quote unquote suicide, which, again, we all know it wasn't the case. It's never the case in these movies. So, she discovered who is this monster? Who is this person who's trying to kill them in their dreams? Because, Nancy already ran into him a couple of times. And, well, I should say 3 times so far by this point. So, turns out she went to the dream clinic and, well, trying to snooze away, she gets stacked and she pulls out an item from her dream, the killer's hat. And apparently her mom seems a little tweaked because it's like, oh shit, I remember the hat. And it's not a good sign if I remember the hat. I need to drink more. So, the next day, Nancy went to go talk to her mom about who hat is this. Turns out the killer's name is scribbled in the hat. Probably in burn and ashes or in soot. But it's written, and it said Fred Krueger. Now, obviously Nancy Mom Marge is, again, tweaking out, probably loaded by now, and it's like, yeah, Fred, he can't, honey, no, I need another drink before I slap you. Ow. So, after, a day of binge drinking and smoking, doing God knows what, again, this is the 80s, she could have done cocaine for all I can, Nancy's mother decided to tell her the whole story about Fred Krueger. Turns out he was a child killer who killed at least 20 kids in the neighborhood. Now, then is the neighborhood Elm Street? Yeah. We later find that out in part 3, but again, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. Well, actually, we will find out in part 2, but whatever. So, she pretty much admits to Nancy that her and her drunken cohorts, probably a bunch of middle-aged house mothers who probably was riddled with grief and also was taken to the bottle a little too much, went and had a Molotov cocktail, threw it into the boiler room where Freddy kept his kid and killed him, burning him in the process while he was there. All because he was let go due to the technicality of the courts because someone signed the search warrants in the wrong places. Now, in the deleted scene, if anyone really don't know this, turns out that the reason why Freddy was going after these four in particular was that they had brothers and sisters that were killed by Freddy. Now, of course, this was a deleted scene, so it doesn't really make sense in the context because that would have been 10 years ago. Again, from another deleted scene. That would have made Aunt Nancy 8 at the time if she's 18 or 15 or how many old she was supposed to be in this movie. So she's between the ages of 15 and 18, so she could have been 5 or 8, still young enough, probably not to remember her sibling, but still probably old enough to probably remember them. So after the killing of her boyfriend Glenn in the most brutal way by the bed, hey Glenn, you shouldn't have fallen asleep for the second time. Nancy warned you and you didn't listen to her. But Nancy decided, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to build some booby traps. I'm going to just make this house rigged with so many shit that make Kevin McAllister from Home Alone look like freaking I don't know what. Yeah, weird that I would say Home Alone references in the movie that was made in 1984, but whatever. Made by the same company, but again, whatever. So, Nancy decided to bring Freddy, tried to pull Freddy out of her dream. In doing so, she, made sure the whole house was rigged and booby trapped in 20 minutes, no less. Well, less than that, I should say. Because she's told her father, hey, you may wanna, you may want to, do something about that. But, anyway. So, Nancy tried to pull Freddy out of her dream once. Of course she succeeded, but first she thought she was crazy. And then the whole kit and caboodle happens. She, ran Freddy around the house, downstairs, sent him off with a Molotov cocktail like her mother would before, saying, "Fuck you, bitch!" So, obviously, Freddy went down in a fiery blaze of glory before getting back up again, killing Nancy's mother. And Nancy was like, "Holy shit, man! I'm never going to do that stuff again." So, at the end of the movie, which is just a couple of scenes later, to be honest, Nancy decided to say, "Hey, Freddy, fuck you. I'm turning my back on you. Goodbye, adios, sayonara, au revoir." And that apparently solved the problem, but not really. No. Freddy decided, well, let's fuck with her mind a little bit. Let's let her think that she did kill me off. But no. I'm well alive, bitch. I'm taking you and your friends off for the ride. This is just, your dream, your happy little daydream. You're gonna relive all your friends killing. You're gonna relive your mom killing. I'm gonna have my little chorus girl dancing, sing the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, Freddy coming for you. It's gonna be beautiful. And that's exactly what he did. So, Nightmare on Elm Street. Is it a good movie? Yes. Is it terrifying? Yes. Fuck yes. Is it a movie that you should see when you're 8 years old? No way in hell. So, until next time, see you, my lovelies.